Hey guys, so Stage Traxx 3 is one of the best apps for live musicians for managing lyrics, chord charts, backing tracks, doing MIDI, set lists, and all sorts of other things that you can do with it. It's actually one of my favorite apps. I use it all the time live, and I love it so much that I actually made a 3-part video series on it. You can think of this as part 4 or just an update to that video because there have been quite a few updates since those 3 videos came out. So I'm going to go over some of the new updates as well as a few things that I left out in those previous videos. So if you're brand new to Stage Traxx, this is not the video to check out. I'm not really going to go over all those things that I did in the first video series. If you're new to Stage Traxx, I recommend watching part 1. If you're interested in how to set up multi-tracking and how to loop parts of a song, I go over that in part 2. And if you're interested in how to send and receive MIDI from Stage Traxx 3, that's what video 3 is about. I'll have links to those videos down below in the description if that's what you're here to check out, but this is an update to those videos. And also I will be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers so you can download the full version of Stage Traxx 3 for free, and I'll give that away at the end of the video. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Use the timestamps below if there's a specific subject that you're interested in, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first off, right off the bat, one of the best things that they've added is that now you are able to change the pitch and the speed of a multi-track song. So you would click this button right here and you see pitch and speed, and you can adjust that. All in, ready, go.
Verse 1.
That's super amazing. That was originally missing. You can only do that with single file audio tracks, but you can now do that with multi-track. And I'm really glad that they've added this. And since we're talking about multi-track files, originally it was limited to just 6. Now you have 8 files that you can import. So that's a total of 8 stereo files, or if you get clever with it, 16 mono files. You have 8 different tracks that you can input now. So you can have 8 different stems for each song. You can see here how I use my 6 tracks, but now I have an option for a 7th and an 8th track if I want them. Very, very cool. And next up, since we're talking about multi-tracking, is they made the routing of the audio just so much easier. Originally, it was like this weird route it to main or aux 1, 2, or 3, and then you had to pan left and right to get mono. It was only stereo. It was a lot more confusing. Now it is so much easier to do. So I've connected my track rig. I have a video on that if you're looking for an easy multi-track output interface. But you can see right now, track 1 output, which is my drums, is disabled. If I want to route that somewhere else, I would click it, and I have the option now to either run it in mono, just outputs 1 through 8, or in stereo, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. So much easier. This method is just so much easier now to do it this way. So the way that I'm going to do this, just as an example, I'm going to route output 1, which is my drums, as a stereo drum mix, out 1 and 2. Track 2 is the bass, which I'm just going to run in mono, out output 3. Track 3, I'm going to turn off because you can also just disable an output. Track 4 is my backing tracks, keys, synth, backing vocals, all that stuff. So I'm going to route that in stereo, out to outputs 5 and 6. Track 5 is just the click track, which just needs to be in mono, so I'm going to route that out 7. And then track 6, which is my cues, I'm going to route that out output 8. It is so much easier than the old method. It's just, it makes way more sense. Disabled, mono, or stereo, and route it accordingly. And on top of that, even if you don't do multi-track outputs, you can still import the stems and then use the single cable method where you pan all the stuff that you want to go to front of house hard left, and you pan your click and your cues hard right. If you don't know how to do that, check out my video here. And I specifically mentioned how I use this method with Stage Traxx to get the best of both worlds. An easy setup, but I still can adjust the volume of, say, if I mix the bass too loud or something like that. Again, check out that video if you're interested. But now I've plugged in just a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter converter because my iPad does not have the headphone jack output. But you can see now, this is really cool, is that it gives you the option. You can either output this in stereo, or you can say only pan it to the left or only pan it to the right. That is really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan all my tracks to the left. So in this case, track 2, which is bass, track 4, which is tracks, those are panned to the left. And then track 5 and track 6, those are my click and my cues. I'm going to pan those to the right. So now they are routed properly. This is so nice because originally when you imported them, you had to go in here and pan. So see how I have my bass and my tracks, and they're panned all the way to the left. And then my click and my cues were panned all the way to the right. Now it doesn't even matter. I can just go in here to the audio routing and just pan what I want to go out of the splitter cable to the left and which one do I want to go to the right. Super clever. This is such a huge improvement from the old method. I love this. Okay, next up for an update, you can now sync all of your devices to iCloud. I have not personally turned this on. I'm going to leave a link down below to the Stage Traxx YouTube page where it goes through this. But it is nice that now you can have all of your devices synced up. So if you have like a phone and an iPad or something like that, all of your devices will sync up with all the songs that you have, which is definitely a huge plus. Also, another update that I really like is that you can crop PDF files. So I use PDF files personally. I don't really use the lyrics. Actually, I only use PDFs personally. But when you click on the PDF document of one of the songs, you have this trim tool right here, and you can adjust the crop margin. So see, I can zoom in, and so that the text reaches the exact edge, so it fills up the screen even more, especially if you're on like a smaller tablet or something like that. You can see down here, okay, so I trimmed off too much, so I need to dial this back a little bit. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's how it looks normally. See all this gap here at the top and on the left and the right? There's all that gap. But if I crop it in like this, now it fills up the page even more, which is really great. Normally I have this vertical when I'm performing live, but I'm filming it horizontal. Just it's easier to film that way for YouTube videos. But see how much more it just fills up the screen when you can crop it like that? Definitely a nice plus that they've added this feature. Another thing that's been added, there is a hide chords tab. So like I said, I don't use lyrics personally with mine, so I just put this together just for the sake of this video. But you can see it has the chords up here. And again, it's going to look better like this on yours if you use chords. I just did this as a demo because I use PDFs. But a lot of singers in particular don't want to see chords. They just want to see the lyrics. So there is an option here under your settings, go to lyrics and PDF, and under chord settings, you can toggle on this hide chords feature right here. And now you can see all the chords are gone. Good way to make your singer happy if they don't play an instrument. And also you do have a way to modify the chord size. So I'm going to push this plus button, bring it up to 2x, and you can see that the chords are bigger. But yeah, they've added the hide chords feature, which is a nice way to make your singer happy. Next up is a really cool MIDI one that they've added. So under settings, under playback settings, you scroll down here and you have all these send MIDI commands on a load, play, stop. They added one for playback ends. So you can have a MIDI command be triggered when the playback ends. The reason I really like this one is I just did a video on a device that converts MIDI into DMX programming. So what you could do is you could say when the playback ends, trigger the blackout or just like a slight small stage wash on your lighting, especially if you control all your lights. I really like that. But I mean, you could also use this to turn off vocal effects or something. If you're talking to the crowd, you can turn off your reverb on your vocals. You can activate your tuner on your Helix or Quad Cortex or something like that. Just whatever you want to do between songs. It's a really cool feature. I like that they added that. You also now have a visual metronome. So if you don't play to a click track like I do, you know, I have my specific metronome and that goes to our in-ears. However, what can be beneficial if you're not playing with in-ears or a click track or backing tracks or something like that is just to get the general tempo. I don't know about you, but if I play like a fast song and then I'm supposed to go to a slow song, I often find myself starting it a little too fast. So this is nice because you can click up here and then you can see this visual metronome button right here. So you can turn on the visual metronome either when the music is stopped, while the music is playing, or during both. So let me just tap in a tempo. You can tap in the tempo right here or manually type it in, but I'm just going to tap it in. I'll just put it on stop just for this demo, but you can see that there's this light blinking around it, which is nice. That'll give you the tempo so you know how to start it and you know the tempo to start the song, which is really nice. It's also cool if you minimize it, you still get it down here at the bottom as well. And also you can adjust the color by going into your settings, going to user interface, and then go to color settings. And this top one up here, tint color, if you change that, you can change the color of the visual metronome. But that is definitely a nice plus, especially if you do not play to backing tracks and just want to get a tempo of how the song starts. Very helpful. Okay, so this next one is not an update. It's just one that I didn't go over in my previous videos. But show local lyrics is a really cool feature, and I'm going to show you what that does here. So under settings, when you join a session, so what I'm going to do is from my phone, I'm going to join the session that I have over here on the iPad. This is how we do it live. I run our backing tracks live, and then all the other musicians connect to my session so they can see the set list and see what's coming up next and stuff like that. So you can see when I joined, we're currently on the song 9 to 5, so that shows up on the other musician's tablet that they're using, right? So if I put 500 miles next, that shows up on their screen. If I remove it, goes to 9 to 5, and you can see 3M is next. It'll say 3M down here and so on and so forth. So I've already done that. But here's the thing that's really cool is that what I've done is that on my iPhone, I've loaded up the sheet music for Save Tonight. Not that anyone really needs sheet music for a song that has 4 chords the entire song, but just as in the example, so you can see that currently I'm just getting whatever comes from the iPad, right? But I've loaded up the sheet music to Save Tonight on my phone. Pretend pretend this is like my bass player's phone or something like that, and he's connected to my session. Instead of seeing my lyrics, so watch, now it's going to load up slightly different. For Save Tonight, it'll load up my chart on my iPad, but on his phone, it's going to load up the sheet music. So this is really helpful if you have a keyboard player or a bassist or a violin player, someone who like that who reads sheet music versus a guitar player like me who usually just likes to read chord charts or tab or something like that. Everyone can have their own custom charts for each of the songs. That's really, really cool. Assuming when this video comes out, if I get this done in time, I should be playing music currently in Mexico, which I'm really excited about. But this is exactly what we're going to do. Our bass player can have his own sheet music in there. Our drummer likes to chart out songs so they can have their own sheet music or chord charts or lyric charts or whatever they want in front of them when they perform. When I load Save Tonight, it loads their version of Save Tonight. That's super cool. If you do use Autoscroll, there is also now a feature that you can override manual Autoscroll, which can be nice. And then lastly, I'm going to go over lyrics on an external screen, which again, they have as an option before, but I didn't go over it in a previous video. So for lyrics on an external screen, you can enable that here. And you can see with PDFs, it doesn't really work. This works much better with lyrics, as I've found. So if you turn off lyrics on an external screen, you can see that it just displays what's coming out of my iPad. I have this just connected via an HDMI adapter from my tablet to just this tiny screen that I just use to see myself when I'm filming YouTube videos. Obviously, you're going to do this on a much bigger screen. But if you turn on lyrics on an external screen, you can see right here that it shows up over here. Again, this is how it looks with a PDF, so I don't recommend that. So I'm just going to put in just some lyrics right here, and you can use the font size modifier here, and you can see that it does convert it up so that it's bigger to see. Now this one I just did just a lyric only file, which means that it's not going to scroll. So you are going to want to use like your auto scroll. So let me just put in, I'm just going to make just a song. I'm just going to put in a random track here. I guess it's a Steel Panther song that I'm going to put in here. Doesn't matter. It's so that it'll go through the song. But now when I load up the song, you can see the lyrics right here. And as I scroll through, or when I push play, you can see that the lyrics will scroll on the external screen as well, right? So if I start it over, it'll start back over at the beginning. But this is a way that you can get lyrics on an external screen from your iPad. And you can also adjust the rotation to the left or to the right if you want it to be more vertical instead of the horizontal way. Really cool. They've really thought of everything with this app, and I didn't go over that in my previous video. This app really does so many things. It's awesome. Okay, so there you go. So let me know what your favorite update is down in the description down below. I love all the updates to the multi-tracking, especially. That's been a huge help for me. But let me know in the comments down below what your favorite update is. And like I said, I was going to do a giveaway to one of my subscribers to download the full version of Stage Traxx 3 for free. So I'll send you a $20 Apple iTunes gift card, whatever they're called now. I think just Apple card. But either way, I like to be able to give back to my community, and I like to do a giveaway whenever I can. So in order to be entered, two things is one, you have to be a subscriber. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And then two, you have to leave a comment down below, and you got to leave the magic word. You can say whatever you want down in the comment sections down below, as long as you say the phrase, "I like turtles." As long as you say that phrase and whatever else you want down below, you will be entered to win the giveaway. I will do the giveaway announcement on this date right here, and I will notify the winner. Please do not respond to scammers. I will never, ever ask you for money. Period. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. If someone claims to be me and asks you for money, that is a scammer. Scammers sometimes will show up when I do giveaways. So I hope this helped you guys out. Thank you guys again for watching. If I left anything out, please leave them as a comment down below. I'm always interested in other ways that you guys are using Stage Traxx 3. So a couple of videos to recommend. One, I have a video addressing the controversy of musicians using iPads on stage because for some reason that's a controversy. You can check out my video on that. And also, if you are interested in an easy-to-use multi-tracking backing track setup, check out my video on the track rig. You can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Scott Ewell Music. Again, I'm assuming that this video will come out while I'm in Mexico, and I'll be posting some videos from my gig there on my stories and on my Instagram, so be sure to follow me there. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.